okay, Kimi isn't Shin or Kimi Hilda.
Gatot is up
Gatot
too.
as well, yeah.
Kalea is also up too. That's a Hilda.
Kita
And a
masuk
CC.
ke
A
dalam
slightly different approach
game
from Team
pertama
Malaysia.
guys ya.
Switching up the playbook a little bit.
Antara Malaysia
I mean, he's
versus
generally a chill person,
South
even in
Africa
the most toughest of defeats, but I think he's having a bit too much fun.
No, I would say he's feeling finally
First pick.
comfortable.
Lancelot
I feel like he's like, oh, I get to use the
Fanny
hero as I
Dipen
want to play, and then,
Hayabusa Esmeralda Baxia
Ashley smashed
Fredrin
Crystal.
Grok.
I get to play the game.
You know, it's just a
Malaysia
unique
Hilda
experience.
Cici
You know, like,
He
guys.
hasn't been on international for quite a while, even though yes, it's in Malaysia, but you know.
You can see the moment that some of these players
Iya
get
sih
set free.
asli Afrika nih cowok.
Mlbb is also a very good
main-main, guys.
example. His ironically, his last trophy lift was also WEC with the same team. That time it was Gojas in the roster. The Kalea that comes out and the Uranus, like in South Africa, is bringing to the table. They are not scared.
So now Malaysia,
Uranus
they do have the
Kalea.
option in terms of the mid. The Kimi is still there, and I think it's still going to be fine, but there isn't an option for them to pick up the Lunox. Good deny as well as good counter towards the Uranus, or they want to go for a Jushin. Gonna be a little bit slow,
Sampai
but
ke
considering that you do
Afrika
have
sana
the
ya
CC,
Mobile
and
Legends
CC
ya.
in a way is a shred hero, or just be safe, pick up the Yisun Shin, and then figure everything out later.
Tusi is in a slightly more interesting spot because you don't have, you know, like a Grok to supplement or a Tot, right? You can only choose one, so happier with this Yisun Shin pick, so you get to save the mid laner for last and for the second phase, and not only that, you are not fully revealing where the Hilda and CC are going.
Yeah, and I feel like one of the safer ones is definitely banning on the mids, because having a Kalea, you don't want to pair her up with a burst hero, so maybe ban on something like Lunox if they themselves don't want to pick it up, ban out of Parsa, maybe even consider an Eve unless they themselves want it.
Tapi itu kok ada
It's
yang
always a good
putih
shout.
ya.
Lunox banned out from Team Malaysia, very straightforward. I think for South Africa, you need to start considering you might have to open up a bit of that mid hero, right? Because either way, you don't get priority, and there's always the pocket pick of Selena from Malaysia. We know Story loves that hero too. So, I mean, there's even a deeper one, the Novaria, we have seen it. So you can't really shut out that mid lane completely, but what you can do is to force certain matchup, right? Maybe you force this Hilda to go Roma, you force this CC to be in the XP no matter what. Yuzhong has been a pick that was prioritized by plenty of teams in since day one. Even Team Malaysia has shown respect to that hero. Maybe for South Africa, they can consider that as well.
Yeah,
Harit
I'm liking the
Diben.
Harit ban though, because this is one of Loliel's signature as well, and perhaps the Lunox ban give them an idea that, okay, there's a chance that Harit could be picked up, and then we have no way to counter.
Yeah.
In terms of the next pick, I would say for Team Malaysia, another unique one is they could opt for a Ruby just to have that double fighter, and it's going to be much more difficult for the Lancelot to go in, because I believe we saw that yesterday when Momo was the one using the Ruby and just stuck around Yisun Shin all the time, and then it's like there's no way of touching the Yisun Shin.
Yeah, and if you get caught by the curtain call and you get lasso to and tethered to your teammate, it's almost impossible to get out. There's another pick to consider. The export.
Tangannya kan
So I think
agak
there's plenty of options for both teams. In fact,
kuning-kuning
will be the
banget.
Ranger banned out by Malaysia.
Trying to force out either a weird marksman or, you know, just not meta marksman, or force them out to use a fighter as well, which, considering that they do have Kalea,
Ranger
they want some
Dipen.
kind of burst here, and there's not a lot of fighters that really deals any kind of burst. The only one that comes into mind is the Lapu, honestly.
Yeah, Napu is an option too. I mean, for Malaysia, you definitely have slightly more wriggle room to opt for double fighter lineup just because of the YSS. We still have the Kimi up. It has not been touched the entire draft. That could be an angle too, I think, for both teams, in fact.
Yeah, but honestly, I kinda want to see a Farsa coming in from South Africa, because I understand there's a lot of ways to deal with the Farsa, but at the same time, keep it simple. Kalea catches someone, and then you burst them out as fast as you can, because going up against a team that has quite high mechanics, you kind of want to kill them before they can respond.
Yeah, just make it quick and easy, right?
Exactly.
Just don't have to complicate the execution. Farsa Eve is always up there, but I do agree Farsa is the prime choice now for South
Untuk
Africa.
mapnya
Even for
Dangerous
Malaysia,
Grass.
just because they're on red side, they don't have to reveal
Terkadang
too much.
ada yang nggak
Kimi gets
bisa
picked up
ngeliat
for
cowok,
Stormy,
kecil sekali
and
itu
the
mapnya.
mystery continues. We don't know where this Hilda and CC are going.
Eve or Farsa, again, I do prefer Farsa, but the Eve has a better laning phase going up against this Kimi. And considering the fact that you're using a Kalia, you do want more range just to make sure that you have backup, because I'm worried if the Kalia moves a little bit too far forward and this Hilda is going into the wrong position, there's a lot of damage between Hilda as well as Kimi, and killing off the Kalia
Tadi kayaknya
makes it
ada
so
yang
that
putih lah,
doesn't
guys.
matter Eve or Farsa, kind of impossible to move forward, especially with the looming threat that and level 2 gang coming in from the eastern shin.
If you get rooted down by the bubble, that's at least minimum a flicker out.
So the pick here, I'm thinking it might be a traditional marksman, but okay, looks like they are picking up the Lapu and other burst, and they go for the Eve. So pretty
Hero-nya itu
standard here coming in
aja
from
ya.
South Africa.
Yeah, they definitely are lacking a little bit in the burst, right? They have some form of that from the Lancelot and the Lapu, but the one good thing is that when that game goes late, the one thing that we always worry about with a Lancelot double fighter comp is the late game scaling. Eve solves that problem.
So another thing is Malaysia still hiding basically everything here. They can go for another EXP pick. Something like an Alice would be fine. The Yuzong is still open.
Yep.
But instead they're going to go for the Gatot. So it looks like this is going to be a Hilda EXP. And you can see the smile coming in from Yuza. I can't believe I get this at last pick.
2-0 sih ini.
I guess I'm
Ini
playing
kan
Gatot
SRG,
again.
Cok.
Yeah.
No one touched it.
I think in the back of his mind, he's like, please ban it. I want
Nah,
one
ini
Hilda
yang
Yeah,
game.
I don't want to
kacamata
play
putih,
Gatot.
guys.
One Hilda game in dangerous grass. And then Coach R's like, nah.
Like Coach R is gonna force me to play Gatot again, and then
Apa ya,
Arcadia is like
mungkin pemain
Gatot. He was like,
Filipin guys.
Or just be like, hey, you, guess what?
he was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
He pissed Gatot, and then Coach R was like, actually, I wanted you to pick Yuzong for Momo, but sure, you play Gatot.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Either ways, the draft has been completed coming in from South Africa as well as Malaysia. I gotta say, South Africa got a pretty standard and safe ban, which is gonna be good. It's just that going up against Team Malaysia, we know Southeast Asia is a region that really punishes the mid. So I'm just slightly worried for the Kalia, because level 1, it's going to be very difficult for you to sustain the damage that
Oh,
a
ini
Kimi
kenapa
can
nih
dish out.
trouble
A lot
kah?
of the games that we have seen that ended up going out of control is because of some early mid visits, right? And it doesn't necessarily have to translate into a kill. It can be you force a battle spell out, you take control of the priority, and then you just see that spillage
SRG
kind of
OG Esport.
ripple into the other lanes, into the side lanes, and then into the jungle, and it's very hard to contain. And that's what teams like Malaysia and Indonesia, Cambodia, Myanmar, and to a certain degree, Turkey have been demonstrating across both categories. So if there's any takeaway from the first 2 days, I think South Africa definitely have been watching these games and getting a practice in, is to make sure that you don't lose control in the first 2 minutes, especially in that mid lane. If you get an early visit from Sakai's and he walks away with a kill, you've already lost half the battle.
Yeah, speaking of which, shout out to the Malaysian crowd. We can hear them supporting the Malaysian team here. Looks like we are waiting just a little bit for Sakai to handle his, I believe, some audio issues. But after that, we are jumping straight into the game here. And yeah, I think it's really the first 2 minutes here, Husky, right? If the first 2 minutes, South Africa is able to deter any kind of aggression coming in from Malaysia, considering the fact that you have a Kimi, you have a Hilda, and a Yeeson shit. If they can survive the first 2 minutes, there's hope.
I guess the upside is that at least they don't have a Hayabusa to deal with, right? Like compared to a Lancelot, Hayabusa definitely is slightly cheekier with how he can throw his cross shadows out across the wall. But aside from that, we say the first 2 minutes, but it technically is the first minute, right? Because by the time the turtle spawns, if there's already damage to your mid lane, you lose control very, very quickly, and that's sort of what happened to Team Romania against Indonesia, and what happened earlier on as well.
For all the teams lost,
yeah,
it has been losing mostly on mid, and it's not too much mechanical prowess or, you know, in terms of the heroes. It's really about controlling that mid wave, so that you force your opponents to overextend. And I feel like this is why there's such a big difference between local tournaments and international tournament, because there's an invisible line in the Land of Dawn where saying if you cross this line, you are in a lot of trouble. You will take a lot of damage. And so far, everyone that's crossed that line has taken a lot of damage.
And that also kind of brings forth the question, well, not the question, but more of the discussion of the play styles, right? How the playbook is in different countries. And I think in
Kenapa
Southeast
ya?
Asia
Trouble
alone,
lah.
we have established that these are the covenants of Mlbb. But for the other countries, they are starting to really dip their toes into this, and they really get a harsh reality check, a master class on how to play the game. You sort of see the gap, but you also realize that, hey, the game fundamentally has been designed in a way where you just cannot lose control of certain elements of the game.
Yeah, it's one thing to hear about it, it's one thing to see it, and it's one thing to experience it yourself.
Yeah.
Because even us as casters, like we see it all the time, but then when we go in game and then we're like, oh wait.
Nah, yang ini
When we
juga
actually,
putih.
like 5-stack and we meet another 5-stack that knows how the game works.
The enemy has a Grok Selena, and then we just die first blood. It's like, oh well.
And you see how quick the game spirals out of control. There's another pick that I hope to see maybe deeper into the playoffs and on the weekends. The Luo Yi has been missing for quite a while. I mean, Dangerous Grass is probably the one that we'll see her the most.
Definitely a pocket pick, yeah.
Yeah, a Stormy pocket pick. Actually, there's not much Luo Yi players. Now that I think about it, right? At least in WEC, we haven't seen much of the players who are known for having that Luo Yi when they want it. Selena is as far as we go.
And this is why we don't see a lot of mid-range mages anymore, right? Because again, the invisible line, the Valentina, the Louis, the kind of melee-ish range heroes are having just a bit of trouble. That's why we see more Farsas, Eve, the Kimis. So it's like, even if you do lose out, it's not that bad.
I have a clickbaity YouTube title for anyone who wants to make a video on Mlbb. Kimmy has ruined mid lane laning.
Hey, you know what?
Depends on how you look at it.
Yeah, depends how you look at it.
If you're on the receiving end, I can totally understand the frustration.
Yeah, imagine she just got nerfed and she's #1 picked.
As a Kimmy player, womp, too bad. Alright, let's head to the game 1 between Malaysia and South Africa. Malaysia on the red side, South Africa on blue. And we get inverse jungle, both junglers on the purple buff.
Yeah, looks like they are starting on the opposite sides of the map. I wonder which side is gonna spawn the Little Wanderer. But I'm guessing Sakai's, with this kind of rotation, I feel like we've seen it before. Instead of going for the Little, he might go for a early invade. But no, it looks like he is closer to the Litho, so they are going to challenge for that. Stormy taking quite a bit of damage coming in from Lindo. But look at that, super light, taking punishment from Momo.
There's a lot of damage from the Void Crystals onto Stormy and Sakai, so had to be quite careful. Yuzu will be forced to use to revitalize. Velutizi trying to run away, will have to pop the flicker. Sakai, I think, gets the camp as well, so alongside with the Litho, gets a bit of that experience injection. Look at where Yums is, man.
And like you said, Kimi has ruined mid lane for Mlbb because that was kind of not fair. Lindo, trying to secure the orange buff, is able to do so, but this is just the first minute of the game, and the jungle as well as mid is suffering quite a bit. Same as Super Light here, having quite difficulties going up against Momo on this Hilda, and Momo might be able to deny him of at least 2 minions.
And with the reduced backswing of her abilities, now she hits even faster without having to trade any damage in return. And not to mention, if she gets the full stack of the passive mark on you, you will literally start taking extra damage. And the fact that this sort of happened in XP lane is going to cause a bit of inconvenience in South Africa, right? As Uranus is like, whatever. When I hit level 4, I'm willing to take the punishment, but if you're back, if you're down in XP, then you might see Momo moving around the map a bit more.
I feel like the worry is not Uranus losing, it is the fact that Hilda is winning, right? It means that she will get level 4 first, she gets out of lane first, it means that she can scout for the Lancelot first. Lancelot is already having some trouble, so Momo, if just torpedoes straight towards Lindo, and then gets a kill, doesn't get a kill, doesn't matter, as long as you hurt him enough, force our recall, free turtle, and we know how Malaysia likes to establish a zone.
Yep.
The zone just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and they just keep on denying every kind of farm for you.
And I'm going to quickly talk about how Malaysia approached that first 30 seconds, leading to the invade and the Little Wanderer. We saw Sakai start on the purple buff, path towards the Beetle, and even before all of that was happening, we saw Yums and Stormy set up the invade, right? They were playing towards the bottom side of the map just to make sure that, hey, we've got control of this area, we are guaranteed to have our jungler move here, and if you want to contest, you have to go through us. And it's these small details that can make the difference in that early game if things go, 100% well. In that case, Sakai walks away with a Little Wanderer and a Beetle and a Golem, but in the grand scheme of things, it allows Yums to sit at the orange buff, watch the Lancelot take it, and then Momo wins his lane.
Yeah, despite honestly doing quite a lot of trades over to Stormy. Stormy did take quite a bit of damage, same as Humes. But one of the advantages of a Gatakacha is that you can bring out the Revitalize. So in case things goes bad, you have a healing there. And by the way, quick shouts to Sakai. We've seen him when he just entered MPL looking very young, but now he's looking very matured and looking very comfortable on the international stage.
Yeah, even when you look at the club that he's been playing under, right? He's the only retained member, up till now, and he has gotten 4 local trophies and 1 international with the squad. It's a long-standing, long future for this young kid. Back into the game we go. Turtle spawning on the bottom side.
Yeah, and this time Sakai's the buff is going to spawn closer towards the turtle, so he can actually go for that. But Lolio doing a lot of damage onto Super Shady, forcing out himself to actually go for a recall. And look at that minion, completely denied.
That's not good. Super Shady was trying to force the wave, but unfortunately it ends up losing a catapult.
Lihat
Again,
turtle
it's these
pertama,
incremental
Cok.
things, these small details that allow Team Malaysia to get the lead. Traction pulse does get thrown out, doesn't really vacuum anyone back, and Turtle secured by Sakai. South
SRG
Africa
kuat,
cuts
Cok.
their losses as Super Light goes down. First blood for Momo.
And this is where the zone really starts. They start taking out the
Lihat
front
coba
line. And look at this,
gaya
they're go
bermainnya
for
tuh,
Super
guys.
Shady, taking a lot of damage. Not level 4 yet, and misses the flicker. Lolio gets the kill. Lindo still able to get the purple buff. But again, Malaysia, they don't force it out. They just take one by one by one by one.
Kapan harus kumpul kayak ada formasi-formasinya
You
mereka.
look at statistics, it's already a 2k advantage. And look at Momo, he can just walk in here. What are they going to do about it? They could probably take down Momo as he's a bit far from home. But it took 4 members of South Africa to make that happen. The kill goes over to Lindo.
Yep. Look up Castle Curse, and that clip will probably show up. Probably is alright, but either ways right now.
What's the worst that can happen?
Well, Lolio now does have that War Axe, and I feel like if possible, South Africa, hold on, Lindo is able to dodge that.
Wow.
Hume's not gonna hit anyone with the ult. And again, I kind of feel like they gotta try to help out Lapu Lapu here because he's not getting any farm. Lolio's not allowing it.
It's all for the Little Wanderer, and look at the conversion. These small, minute details that Team Malaysia is demonstrating is giving them more and more of a lead. Like you said, Super Shady does need some help. Stormy works on the plating. That's extra goal for him. 2.3k goal lead for Malaysia. 4 minutes in, and it's only a 2 kill and 1 turtle advantage. That's it.
Yeah, but we've got to talk about the level of EXP here. Momo's level 7, Super Light's level 6, Lindo's level 6, Sakai's level 7. So all across the board, everyone basically has a 1 level advantage from the side of Malaysia. And Mlbb, if he catches anyone, especially when he's able to pull them inside a turret, he can get a kill. But it is going to be quite a difficult struggle here to basically isolate one member from Team Malaysia, considering the fact that everyone has a fast way to re-engage.
Yeah, like Team Indonesia, they would go for these aggressive kills. They will keep forcing you to fight until you run out of breath. But for Team Malaysia, it's not about the kills. It's about the inconvenience that they are causing, right? They make sure that they tip your water bottle sideways a little bit. They misalign your chair. They put some Lego blocks. It makes it very inconvenient to fight. And Super Shady ends up going down.
Yeah, it was a valiant attempt. The only problem is it was kind of a solo attempt because you saw that the entire team was more focused on getting the orange buff. So respectful for both sides, right? Because if he was able to make a play, that would really change things up.
And Lindo just cannot really do anything, even though Yums looks like a very juicy target. He still has to revitalize. The RWM is committed. Yums ends up going down. It's going to be Super Light with the pickup. Momo is going to be sticking around, and I don't think South Africa has the damage.
Yeah, Team Malaysia is making some mistakes here, and looks like Lindo is going to be basically high-performing, taking away the EXP minions as well. Mlbb looks like not able to get Stormy there, and no further damage coming in from Juju MC.
Wow, Stormy with nerfs was still didn't even flinch with the Purify. That's the experience speaking there for this mid laner. I mean, all these considered, Lindo, he's 2 levels behind, but finally able to get breathing room to farm him a little bit. They will have to coin Super Light to front for the team because Mlbb alone isn't enough. Lindo Tries to opt for Stormy, turns on the Yums, the taunt doesn't really connect, so Momo will not show himself.
Mlbb now does have the Oracle, so we're going to have a faster cooldown on his abilities. The really real question here is, who are you going to pick up? Like, of course, Sakai's and Stormy will be the main attraction, but the problem is, both have ways to really escape your Tsunami Slam. Like, Sakai's with the Traceless and Stormy still has that Purify. I'm thinking maybe try to get Lolio. Speaking of which, Lolio just had a solo kill on Trumalite.
And they're not done just yet, they also take out Super Shady.
Jalan
Tsunami Slam finally gets
itu
committed, but out of the RWM, not really what they want for South Africa.
Itu tuh
There's 4 bodies down,
paksa
Lindo
aja, paksa
trying to
mas.
stay alive, but a killing spree for Loliel secures the full team wipe for Team Malaysia.
Dapat purple, dapat turtle,
Eventually we need a stat
dapat orange
of how
dot
many
lagi.
solo kills Lolio has had.
Yeah, he is.
Right? He feels
Mantap
like I'm a
sekali
gold leader,
ya.
but really, if I need to be XP, I honestly can.
Oh,
I can do whatever, right?
Yeah.
Honestly. This is my moment.
Yeah, Lolio really being
udah ayo
the
cepet
silent
turtle
killer
guys.
here for Malaysia, not creating such a big fuss, not asking for
Mau
attention. Just
dijadiin
like,
lord.
alright, you know, someone's in front of me.
Mau
I'm gonna
dijadiin
kill
lord
them,
tuh.
I'm gonna move forward.
This is for all the internet pundits out there.
Yeah.
It's asking if Loliel is the pick. I mean, he clearly is. Look at this.
Hume's even just tanking up for him, dealing damage onto Super Light. Well, all happening on top, Stormy gets killed by Super Shady. They're continuing forward. They actually get a kill onto
Langsung
Momo as
berjalan
well.
ya,
Sakai's is
langsung
there, but
dapat 2 guys.
1v4, probably not the best shot of trying to get a kill there.
Oh, that's one way for South Africa to stabilize the situation a little bit. The turtle boat does connect onto Velotz. Yums will just be a distraction. The Violence heals him up, but sadly Velotz goes down and Sakai's gets the turtle. AOG comes in, good Thorn Rose dodge from Lindo, but Loliel on the case, finds a double kill. Now deals to Super Light. Sakai's by his side. Sakai's on the killing spree. As Super Shady goes in, the swing doesn't really do
cek
the
lagi
damage that he
tuh.
wants. Landshaker easily navigated. Sakai's back into the fray and finds the kill with a turtle bow. Sakai is just styling on him.
GG
Dude,
sih,
Sakai's,
GG.
man, something about WEC really woke him up. Really showing the Sky Prince form. Juggling the damage coming in from a team of South Africa in a way,
Kita kayak
boxing them in.
udah
Where it makes
ngerti
a
gitu
situation where,
main lapu-lapunya.
damn if you do, damn if you don't. You go left, you get hit by Skies. You go right, you get hit by Loliel, Stormy, whoever is there. Sakai's has been dancing on his decent shin, man.
I mean, we say that this is a melting pot of culture. Look at the weapons that they have, right? They have a
Kayak
yo-yo, a bow and arrow, an
Mainnya
axe,
santai sih,
futuristic.
nggak terlalu
Bubble gun.
bernafsu.
Some gauntlets.
Jadi dia
Some
nunggu
iron gauntlets,
lapu-lapunya ngeluarin
You can
skill
fight bare
dulu guys.
knuckle, you can fight long range, close range, medium range, and you have a Amazonian lady in the
Greatness is a
lane.
planet.
We have a planet too, yeah. Although this planet not doing too well.
It's like a celestial
being.
Yeah, celestial being, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Speaking of which, the celestial being is getting hit by Loliel, taking
Oh.
quite a lot of damage from the space gun
Oh.
and the super yo-yo.
Super yo-yo. Malaysia up 10,000, and that holy defense is gonna break. AOG comes in, Juju MC pops the RWM, but he's just standing in danger. It will be saved by the Tsunami Slam. Yums will go down. Good punish from South Africa.
Hey, you know what? That was a bait coming in from Super
Offside
Light.
ya,
Speaking of
sikat
which,
kacanya.
Skies
Oh, come on.
is looking at Super Shady and
With-
giving him just a little bit of
Lihatlah,
time.
lihatlah.
And this is strategy, Husky. He is delaying
nah.
his death so that
Udah kayak
he's not going to
santai
be
ya.
there for the Lord. Right? You got to stagger
Santai kali mainnya itu.
the respawn time here,
Tapi
Husky.
pasti gitu loh guys.
Abai Sakai was like, will the real Super Shady please stand up? Not you.
Hey.
Execution.
Well, right now the Lord is being taken here by Stormy. And Stormy now does have the Divine Glaive, so it's going to be much trickier for Super Light as well as Shady to really tank the damage coming in from the Kimi. But hey, Space Gun, man. Space Guns, they stink.
Yeah, ahead of their time in terms of technology. Momo continues to be a nuisance, and they get the turn call. Oh, Velotz is gonna get hit by the AOG. Super Shady comes in with the
Damn.
Flicker Landshaker into an RWM. The combo is good. Sweet stuff. As Loliel goes down, Yums also overextends the guys in the thick of it. punched down by Super Light. Juju MC with a double kill. And South Africa finds 3.
Hey, South Africa showing up. It's like, hey, you make a mistake, we're gonna punish you. And Malaysia overzealous there, you know, like the combo was there. So it's like, okay, I gotta commit, I gotta follow up. And I feel like Sakai, he was quite surprised. It's like, oh, I'm taking quite a lot of damage. South Africa, man, they're coming in with the damage.
And you know what they say, they might be having fun, but I'm telling you who's not. Coach Ark, if you're listening to this, the boys are having a little fun. You know? Be easy on them. Cut out some slack.
The thing is, I feel like if Coach Ark is okay, I think Vecchi is like, okay, now I'm not. I feel like there's a check and balance.
There's a good call back comment.
Exactly. Now, looking at the items here, looks like the Lancelot will not be doing damage just yet. Hasn't finished the endless battle. Opting for more defense with the brute force, which honestly does make sense. But look at Loliel going full damage. Not even a brute force, considering the fact that the CC has been nerfed in movement speed. Is like,
jangan dekat-dekat
endless
sama
battle movement speed
yoyonya
is
tuh,
Yeah, I
yoyo
mean, I
besi
don't
tuh.
really have to. I don't really need
Baja, guys.
movement speed if the enemies
Sorry,
can't run away fast enough. I think that's the approach. Although this game will go on a bit longer. And we have seen what happens when we go later into the game and Eve starts getting the items. Juju MC did get some juicy shutdowns earlier on. He will start becoming a threat. Yumes finds the taunt. Lindo dashes away to safety. They turn to Loliao, who pops the Avengers. Loliao will shut down Super Light with the pickup.
Nggak tahan,
And
Jo.
again, we have to talk about it was a full damage CC. And I think this is also a thing about Cassicers, where it's just like, oh, you know, Loliel's doing good. You know, internet, what are you going to say now? And then he dies 2 times in a row after we say that.
That's the Loliao effect. We've seen it plenty of times. So blast to the pass, Flicker into a Purify. Stormy gets up and they commit. Oh, Super Shady right in Stormy's face. Trey for a 1v1. Momo will find the exchange. Concealed in Sakai's and Yumes in with the AOG. Sakai's right in the thick of battle. They assassinate Juju MC. Lindo tries to run away, but the trace turns into a turtle for the bow and arrow in the face. Momo with the flicker. Veloz easy tries to run away, but Sakai will claim his head as Super Light. Number 4, Sakai fights him under the inhibitor. And where is Super Light gonna go? Because Yumes will take the aggro, and Sakai will come back in for a mega kill. An unofficial quad. And Team Malaysia cruises down mid for a Game 1 win over South Africa.
Berat lah guys, ngalahin SRG OG Esport Jo.
Kind of waiting for his team to die first and be like, my
Ini
time to
nih
shine.
Onyx-nya
And
Malaysia
Sakai's looking
guys.
pretty scary on this Eastern
Atau
shit.
TLPH-nya
Looking
Malaysia
forward to
guys.
see it get banned every once in a while.
Every once in a
Ya,
while.
kita lanjut di game
Here's the thing,
kedua Jo.
I suggest
something about them, you know, Stormy